A very good evening to one and all who is watching this video today. Hello, my name is Ms. Divya Snehal and I am your English educator. In today's class, we shall be solving some exercises based on subject and predicate. In the previous class, we had studied in detail what is meant by a subject and what comprises the predicate. So if you have not watched it yet, please go and watch the previous video, and after that you can attend this lecture where we shall be practicing questions based on this same. So without further ado, let's begin. Exercise A. Underline the subject and circle the predicate in the following sentences. Underline the subject and circle the predicate in the following sentences. You will find that some of these questions, actually most of them, have been picked from the book Run and Market. So you are practicing those standard questions as well. This one we had discussed in the last class. Let's see how many you people remember. Tribal sign was a man of knowledge. Stone walls do not make a prison. The singing of birds delights us. This kitty was good at the table today. My first 5 questions. Let's see how many you got correct. In the first sentence, tell me what is the subject. Is it Rome or is it the crackling of geese? Absolutely right. It is the crackling of geese save Rome. Why is the crackling of geese the subject of this sentence? Because it is the sound, the sound crackling of geese which has saved Rome. Rome in this sentence is the object of the sentence, which we shall discuss when we shall be dealing with transitive and transitive verbs. For now, you should know that the subject of the sentence is the crackling of geese. Why? Because this sound is what saved Rome. The sound acted upon itself and it was able to save Rome. That is why the crackling of what? Of geese, the entire thing is the subject of the sentence. Next one, Triple Cyan was a man of might. This is the name of a person and the sentence is about this person. So obviously, Triple Cyan is the subject, was a man of might is your predicate. Next one, stone walls do not make a prison. What is this sentence all about? Let me ask you this question. What do you think this sentence is all about? Exactly. This sentence is about stone walls. Stone walls, what can they not do? They cannot make a prison. The sentence is telling us about stone walls, and the sentence is telling us that what you cannot make out of a stone wall is a prison. You cannot make a prison out of a stone wall. Out of stone walls, sorry. So they have the subject, they form the subject, and the rest of the remaining words form your predicate. Next one, the singing of birds delights us. If I ask you a simple question, what delights us? Your answer would be the singing of birds. Delights is the verb here. I taught you last class how will you identify the subject with the help of the verb. The verb is delights. To what delights? The singing of birds delights. To whom does it delight? Who is the receiver of the action? That is us. We feel delighted. Us stands for we. The people feel delighted. When do we feel delighted? When we come across the singing of birds. So the singing of birds is the subject of the sentence. Delights us is the predicate part. Last one, Miss Kitty was rude as bit able today. This one you solve on your own. I believe this should be an easy one for you to deal with. Let's go for question number 6 to 10. What do you mean by that sentence? What is meant by that sentence? Stone walls do not make a strong prison. Please type it in the comment section below. I want to know your views on that statement. The statement was, stone walls do not make a strong prison. I want to know what is the meaning of that sentence. Bad habits go unconsciously. So, kids, what do you think? The sea hath many thousand sands. The word hath is an old English word for has. The sea has many thousand sands. Yes. What do you think is the subject of the 6th sentence? Yes, the sea. Why the sea? Because the sentence is talking about the sea. That a sea has many thousand sands. What it basically means is that whenever you come across a large water body like a sea or an ocean, it has many shores. It has many shores. For instance, you consider the Bay of Bengal. All the states which lie towards the eastern side of the country, those who share the eastern coastal line, they will all have various coasts, various sea sand shores. That is the meaning of the sentence, that the sea hath many thousand sands. Never mind, the sea is the subject and hath many thousand sands is the predicate. We have underlined the subject and we have circled the predicate as the question had asked us to do. Next one, bad habits grow unconsciously. Absolutely right, the sentence is about bad habits. And what is it telling us? That bad habits grow unconsciously. This reminds me of a very powerful line from the movie Dear Zindagi. Shah Rukh Khan tells Alia Bhatt that अगर जिंदगी में कभी भी एक पैटर्न या एक आदत बनती नजर आए तो संभल जाना चाहिए. समझदारी यही जानने में है कि when to stop. That is when you are living your life and you see that a pattern, you have started picking up a pattern or you're doing something on a repeated basis, okay, then you should become conscious of it. Okay, you should become conscious that this might soon turn into a habit. Samajhdari, it is wise only to know when to stop. That is, this line reminds me of that quotation said by Shah Rukh Khan. Bad habits grow unconsciously. Next one, we cannot pump the ocean dry. What do you think is the subject in this sentence? We should be the subject in this sentence. Why we? Because the sentence is telling us what we cannot do. We cannot pump the ocean dry. Meaning what? We cannot take out all the water of the ocean and keep it separately. That is an impossible task to accomplish. That is what this line is. We cannot pump the ocean dry. So we are the doers of the sentence. And what we cannot do? We cannot pump the ocean dry. Coming to the next one. Borrowed garments never fit well. Borrowed garments never fit well. Again over here, borrowed garments. The sentence is about borrowed garments or borrowed clothes. They never fit well because they are not your own. You have borrowed them from somebody else. So it's the sentence wants to tell you that always use things which belong to you. Do not go around asking for expensive things, impressive things, just to show it off to other people. Okay, it's better that if you own simple garments, use simple garments. Instead of going about and pleading other people that you please give me your garments, let me lend your clothes, I'll wear them and get it dry cleaned and then return it to you. Don't go around doing that. That is the message of this sentence. Borrowed garments never fit well. We can also say that these are some of the words of wisdom or proverbs. Next one, the early bird catches the worm. This again is a proverb. First of all, let us discuss what should be the subject of the sentence. If you ask me, I would say the early bird. Because the early bird will be the one to enact the worm. The early bird will catch the worm. So the early bird catches the worm. Catches is our verb. This word is our verb. And the worm is the object. The bird catches and the worm is caught. So the worm is the receiver of that action, and in doing so, the worm becomes the object of the sentence. It is that element which is being acted upon, जिसके ऊपर क्रिया की जा रही है. इसे हिंदी में कर्म कहते हैं. जैसे early bird करता होगा, वैसे ही worm जो है वो कर्म हो जाएगा हमारा. चलिए. Let's move ahead to question number 11 to 15. Yes. Okay, I forgot. What do you mean by this proverb, the early bird catches the worm? Anyone? It is saying, it means that वो व्यक्ति जो समय पर है या समय से पहले हर जगह पहुंच जाता है, उसे अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ मिलती है, उसे नई अनएक्सपेक्टेड अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ मिलने के चांसेस ज़्यादा होते हैं. आप एक सिनेरियो इमेजिन करिए जहाँ पर आप एक मीटिंग में गए और आप वहाँ सबसे पहले पहुँचे और जो आपका क्लाइंट है, उस क्लाइंट वो क्लाइंट भी सबसे पहले पहुंचा. You get to interact with that client of yours one to one and you can pitch your innovative ideas to that client. इस तरह का सिचुएशन में ये प्रॉवर्ब बिल्कुल सटीक बैठता है कि the early bird catches the worm. आप हो गए अर्ली बर्ड और वर्म हो गया वो क्लाइंट जिसके थ्रू आपने एक डील क्रैक कर ली. This is just a scenario to explain to you the meaning of the phrase the early bird catches the worm. Sentence number 11. We should profit by experience. We should profit ability functions needs no explanation. We should profit by experience. Yes, we is the subject and should profit by experience is the predicate. Why is it so? Because we are the ones who will be profiting. यहाँ पे should profit is acting as the verb of the sentence. Okay, here profit is not the noun, it is the verb. So we should actually gain something from because of our experience. That is the meaning of the sentence. We are the ones who are getting profited. So we is the subject of the sentence. We are the doers, we are the receivers or the doers of the sentence. Sorry, the sentence is about us. Therefore, we refers to the subject of the sentence. Then next one, a guilty conscience needs no excuse. A guilty conscience will be the subject of the sentence because the sentence is talking about our guilty conscience. Guilty conscience का मतलब होता है आपका ब्रेन का वो हिस्सा जो कि शर्मसार या फिर आई एम नॉट एट अ लॉस ऑफ वर्ड राइट नाउ बट कुछ गलत करने के बाद जो गिल्ट आपके अंदर मन में आता है कि हो ऐसा मुझे नहीं करना चाहिए, वो जो एक ग्लानी वाली फीलिंग होती है, वो ग्लानी वाली जो फीलिंग होती है उसे हम गिल्टी कॉन्शियस कहते हैं. There is something inside of you which says to you that you should not have done something, you should not have done something, and that part of your brain is your guilty conscience. Needs no excuse. Means that a guilty conscience is enough to make a person feel punished for his or her actions. वो अगर इंसान के मन में ग्लानि है किसी कार्य को लेकर तो वो अपने आप में बहुत है, उसको बाहर से एक्सटर्नल लोगों के ताने या एक्सटर्नल लोगों का पनिशमेंट नहीं, उसे ज़रूरत नहीं है एक्सटर्नल लोगों की पनिशमेंट की. So guilty conscience is our subject and needs no excuse is our predicate. Next one, the beautiful rainbow soon faded away. An easy question, do it on your own. No man can serve two masters. This one is good. The subject will be no man and can serve two masters is your predicate. The sentence is talking about the inability of anyone who is trying to serve two masters. क्वेश्चन वाले सेंटेंस का कहना है कि कोई भी एक व्यक्ति एक समय पर 2 मास्टर्स के लिए काम नहीं कर सकता. He has to pick one towards the end. उसे एक मास्टर का के बीच में चुनाव करना ही पड़ेगा कि वो किसके लिए किसके प्रति वफादार है. इस सेंटेंस का मतलब ये है, No man can serve 2 masters. No man is the subject. क्योंकि ये बताता है कि कोई भी व्यक्ति it's unable. Any man is unable to serve 2 masters at the same time. तो ये inability को दर्शाता है, इसीलिए no man हमारा subject हो जाएगा. Next one, a sick room should be well prepared. The sentence is about a sick room. A sick room is well prepared. A sick room should be well prepared. A sick room should be well prepared. Now, I have to cross check इसका मीनिंग क्या है, but as far as I can understand, एक ऐसा कमरा जहाँ बीमार लोग रहते हैं, उस कमरे को वेल लिट और वेल एयर्ड होना चाहिए. वहाँ पे भरपूर मात्रा में सूरज की रोशनी और हवा आनी जानी चाहिए. तब उस कमरे में रहने वाले जो लोग हैं वो अच्छा महसूस करेंगे. और सिक रूम, अभी रूम तो सिक हो नहीं सकता, एक कमरा कैसे बीमार कर सकता है. इसके कहने का मतलब यही होना चाहिए कि एक ऐसा कमरा जहाँ बीमार लोग हैं या बीमार लोग जिस कमरे में रहते हैं उसमें भरपूर मात्रा में सूरज की रोशनी आनी चाहिए. और ये मैं अपने से बता रही हूँ, सूरज की रोशनी आनी चाहिए और उस कमरे में एम्पल अमाउंट ऑफ हवा भी आती जाती रहनी चाहिए. चलिए, ये वाला सेंटेंस आप लिख करेंगे. चलिए, नेक्स्ट बैच ऑफ क्वेश्चंस. The dew drops glitter in the sunshine. मैं जानबूझ के कुछ क्वेश्चंस रिपीट कर रही हूँ क्योंकि मैं देखना चाहती हूँ कि आपने रिवीजन किया है. इतने सवाल आप पहले करिए, उसके बाद एक छोटा सा नोट है, then we'll again resume our questions. First one, the dew drops glitter in the sunshine. Pretty easy. The sentence is about the dew drops and it is telling us that they glitter in the sunshine. ये सेंटेंस ड्यू ड्रॉप्स के बारे में है और ये हमें बताता है कि जो ड्यू ड्रॉप्स हैं वो सनशाइन में चमकते हैं. तो अगर अभी आपने कभी देखा होगा, कभी नोटिस किया होगा, जो पत्ते होते हैं उनमें ओस की बूंदें ठहर जाती हैं, उसी का ये बात करता है. ओस की बूंदें जब पत्तों में ठहर जाती हैं और उनमें सनलाइट रिफ्लेक्ट करती है, ये सेंटेंस उस ऐसे सीन का वर्णन कर रहा है. नेक्स्ट वन, barking down the shepherd lives. इस सेंटेंस में the shepherd is the subject because he is the one who is hearing the sounds. A barking sound the shepherd hears. इसमें जो doer है वो shepherd है because he is the one who is hearing the barking sound. The barking sound is not the subject, the shepherd is the subject. Next one, on top of the hill lives a hermit. This again, the hermit. A hermit is the subject. On top of the hill he lives is the predicate because living as a verb is about the hermit. रहने की क्रिया, किसी स्थान पे रहने की क्रिया, वो hermit की है. इसीलिए hermit lives. And therefore on top of the hill is part of the predicate. It is not a part of the subject. चलिए अब एक छोटा सा नोट लिखिए. In imperative sentences, the subject is hidden. In imperative sentences, the N है, the subject is hidden. In imperative sentences, the subject is hidden. कैसे hidden है ये बताइए. क्या आपको पता है कैसे? I think आपको पता होगा. क्लास 5 में भी ये सिखाया जाता है इस तरह के sentences. It's just a matter of whether you remember it or not. जरा ये क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करके बताइए. चलिए अब आप करिए क्वेश्चन नंबर. लास्ट हमने किया था क्लोज द डोर. इस सेंटेंस में बताइए कि सब्जेक्ट क्या है. करेक्ट. ये पूरा का पूरा सेंटेंस ही प्रेडिकेट है और इसका जो सब्जेक्ट है वो है यू. सब्जेक्ट इन इंपेरेटिव सेंटेंसेस बोले तो क्या? ऑर्डर, रिक्वेस्ट, प्रेयर, विश, है ना. इस तरह के सेंटेंसेस में जो सब्जेक्ट होता है वो हिडन होता है. एडवाइस, ओके, एडवाइस में तो यूजुअली इट्स एविडेंट बट स्टिल imperative sentences में the subject is hidden and the subject is always you, mostly you. Okay, we'll practice a few questions still. Let's continue. Please bring me a glass of water. Please bring me a glass of water. Next. Could you please help me with the math sum? Could you please help me with this sum? Sum बोले तो a question in mathematics. 22. Shut the windows. Shut the windows. खिड़कियाँ बंद कर दो. इसको आप लोग माइक्रोसॉफ्ट विंडोज मत समझ लेना. ओपन द कैन्स ऑफ कोल्ड ड्रिंक. ओपन द कैन्स ऑफ कोल्ड ड्रिंक. Attention, stand please, get out, leave. Attention. Stand at ease. Leave. या फिर give out. Now you will see कि इसमें सिर्फ imperative नहीं बल्कि exclamatory sentences भी हैं. Let's try to identify the subject and the predicate in all of these sentences. As I told you, please bring me a glass of water. You is the subject, and the entire thing is your predicate. Same. Could you please help me with this sum? You will be the subject. Why? Because this person, there are two people who are talking in this sentence. Could you please help me with this sum? I am there and my friend is there. I asked my friend, could you please help me with this sum? I am the one who is asking, but he will be or she will be the doer of the action. He or she will solve that sum for me. इस सेंस में you जो है हमारा जो you है, the friend I am addressing to, he will be the subject of the sentence because he will end up solving that sum for me. इसीलिए you हमारा subject है and the rest of it is predicate. The rest of it is predicate. Okay, next. Shut the windows. As simple as this. You is the subject and the whole thing is the predicate. You is the subject and the whole thing is the predicate. Next one. Open the cans of cold drink. Somebody is out to celebrate their birthday. Right? बच्चे हैं या बड़े लोग हैं, they are, let's limit it to kids. You have met at a place and you are having cold drinks and you are like, let's open up bottles of cold drinks and let's do cheers and let's get it out of here. है ना? तो open the cans of cold drink. यहाँ पे exclamatory mark है, which means that this is a sentence which is set in excitement and joy. So इसमें भी you ही आपका subject है. You open the cans of cold drinks. सब लोग अपना अपना बॉटल उठाओ और कोल्ड ड्रिंक के बॉटल्स को ओपन करो. सो यू इज द सब्जेक्ट, द रेस्ट ऑफ इट इज योर प्रेडिकेट. द रेस्ट ऑफ इट इज योर प्रेडिकेट. नाउ ये तो आपने बहुत सुना होगा, अटेंशन, स्टैंड इट इज अटेंशन. एंड ये भी सुना होगा, जस्ट लीव या फिर गेट आउट ऑफ माई क्लास. टीचर्स बोलती है ना, all four of them, the subject is you. The subject is you and they are all predicates by themselves. ये पूरे words ही predicates हैं. Now if I may ask you, क्या ये सारे शब्द अपने आप में sentences हैं? Are all of these, attention, stand at ease, leave or get out, are these sentences by themselves or are they clauses? Absolutely right. ये sentences हैं. ये अपने आप में एक sentence है. Just one word with the correct mark. फुल स्टॉप हो, क्वेश्चन मार्क हो, एक्सक्लेमेशन मार्क हो, एक्सक्लेमेशन वाले खास कर, ये अपने आप में एक पूरा सेंटेंस है. इट मेक्स कंप्लीट सेंस बिकॉज वी नो दैट वी आर एड्रेसिंग एन असेंबली. वो मिलिट्री कैंप का असेंबली हो या स्कूल असेंबली हो, मिलिट्री कैंप में सोल्जर्स जब लाइन अप होते हैं तो जो कमांडर इन चार्ज है वो बोलता है ना, अटेंशन सोल्जर्स, तो वो सारे बिल्कुल अटेंशन वाली पोजीशन में चले जाते हैं. सो दीज आर क्लियर कट कमांड्स, proper commands given by people who are in power or authority. इसीलिए all of these are sentences by themselves. I hope this much is clear to you. आगे देखें. Okay, इसके बाद हम we'll stop over here. And let me give you an exercise on translations, but I cannot see my translation book right now. Give me 2 minutes. चलिए, found it. सबसे पहले जो लास्ट क्लास हमने किया था उसका सोल्यूशन देख लेते हैं. Then we can proceed with fresh questions. This was exercise in solutions of solutions of exercise 8. Let's start. my coat. हमने कर दिया था ना. This one we have done. 8 हमने कर दिया था, 9 की बारी थी. 8 हमने कर दिया था, 9 की बारी थी ना. हाँ, इसका सोल्यूशन मुझे देना है. ये थोड़े लाल हैं. These horses are red in color. ये लड़कियाँ वहाँ हैं. Those girls are there. Those girls are there. ये प्याले हैं. These are cups. ये वर्ग भवन है. quadrangle. ये cups हैं. वर्ग भवन. They are. I will have to find out the meaning of the word वर्ग भवन. I'm sorry, I do not know it now. ये मेरा homework रहेगा. I will tell you the meaning or the English equivalent of this word in the next class. Work bhavan should be quadrangles. Quadrangles as far as my understanding goes. But I will confirm it definitely in the next class. Okay? They are work bhavan. Hari और Rahim यहाँ है. Hari and Rahim are here. ये लड़के सड़क पर हैं. ये लड़के, these boys on a road. आप on के जगह पे across भी यूज कर सकते हैं. across भी यूज कर सकते हैं. ये आम इस टोकरी में है. Those mangoes are in this basket. Those mangoes. Those mangoes are in this basket. Are in this basket. ये दुकानें हैं. ये दुकान है. These are. ये दुकान है. This is a shop. This is a shop. Next. ये घड़ियाँ हैं. They are watches. Watches are घड़ियाँ जो हम wrist watches or they can be wall clocks also. But watch usually wrist watch को ही बोलते हैं. ये घड़ियाँ हैं. ये लड़कियाँ कमला और मुमला हैं. These girls are Kamla and Vimla. Respectively. Why have I used the word respectively here? Can anyone tell me why have I used this word? Actually, if you see, there is a person who is introducing two girls. These are Kamla and Vimla. Now, when the actual situation is being enacted upon, तब असल में दो लड़कियां हैं and by the hand gesture मैं बता रही हूँ कि ये कमला है और ये विमला है. लेकिन जब आप लिख रहे हो, जब आप सेम बात को लिख रहे हो, पेटिंग इट डाउन इन वर्ड्स, तो फिर आप अलग अलग कैसे बताओगे कि ये कमला है और ये बिमला है? उस वक्त के लिए, ऐसे सिचुएशंस के लिए हम रिस्पेक्टिवली डाल रहे हैं, मतलब कि हमने पहली लड़की पे जो पॉइंट किया वो कमला है और दूसरी वाली बिमला है, रिस्पेक्टिवली। पहली लड़की कमला और दूसरी लड़की बिमला है, ये बात जाहिर करने के लिए हमने रिस्पेक्टिवली शब्द का यूज़ किया है। आपने मैथ्स के प्रॉब्लम्स में भी कहीं ना कहीं देखा होगा, द लेंथ, विड्थ एंड हाइट of a rectangle are 12 centimeter, 5 centimeter and 3 centimeter respectively. इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? लेंथ सबसे पहले लेंथ है, फिर विड्थ है, उसके बाद हाइट है, रिस्पेक्टिवली 1 2 3 1 2 3, इस तरह से रिस्पेक्टिवली लेंथ, विड्थ और हाइट है। इसीलिए हम इस शब्द का इस्तेमाल करते हैं। चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं। ये गाय लाल है, these cows are red, these cows are red। ये तुम्हारी बहन की पुस्तकें हैं, these are your sister's books, your sister's books। वे पत्र है मेरी गेंद और कमीज इस कमरे में है। ये तुम्हारी बहन की पुस्तकें हैं, वे पत्र हैं, वे, those are letters, those are letters। लेटर्स जो चिट्ठी आती है ना, वो पत्र। मेरी गेंद और कमीज उस कमरे में है, my ball and my coat, I don't know, my ball and my coat are in that room। ये कुर्सियाँ हैं, those are chairs, those are chairs। ये मेरे हाथ हैं, these are my hands, these are my hands। Here we finish the solution to the 9th one. Let's go for passage number 10. Let's go for passage number 10. Exercise 10. Translation. Exercise 10. Translation. Translate it into English. वे खिलाड़ी हैं, वे लड़कियां वहाँ हैं, वे लड़कियां वहाँ हैं, वे प्यारे हैं, वे वे खिलाड़ी हैं। सेम सेंटेंस वे हरी के घर में हैं, हमारा विद्यालय है, यह हमारा विद्यालय, विद्यालय है वो तुम्हारा घर है। उन लोगों का बस है, ये हमारे शिक्षक हैं, ये हमारे वह तुम्हारा गाँव है, तुम्हारा हमारी पुस्तकें इस टेबल पर है, हमारी हमारी पुस्तकें इस टेबल पर है। उन लोगों के जूते इस कमरे में हैं, उन लोगों के जूते उस कमरे में हैं। उन लोगों के जूते उस कमरे में हैं। तुम्हारी साइकिल वहाँ है, तुम्हारी साइकिल वहाँ है। ये लोग उस मैदान में हैं। मिस्टर झा तुम्हारे शिक्षक हैं, मिस्टर झा हमारे शिक्षक शॉर्ट लिखा गया है। यह हमारा देश है, यह हमारा तुम्हारे दोस्त हैं। राम और तुम्हारे दोस्त हैं। तुम्हारे दोस्त हैं। यह हम लोगों का शहर है। यह हम लोगों का वह आप लोगों का डाकघर है। वह आप लोगों का डाकघर है। So, that is it for today. Alright children, that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed today's class. See you in the next class. Complete your homework and come.